you for coming out today. I want to thank Bocato's Catering for providing today's lunch. Please give her a hand. If you didn't get lunch, it's because, well, maybe you did reserve. That's the hardest part, is we always have less reservations. We estimate high, and then we run out of food. And it's always a board member who pre-reserved, paid for lunch, that ends up not getting lunch. I apologize. If we weren't able to take care of you, let me know afterwards and we'll take care of you. But let me take that moment to give a plug to please reserve. We'd love to know that you're coming beforehand. We love that you're here. Don't let the fact that you don't have a reservation keep you from coming here, but we love you just a little bit more when you make a reservation, because then we have enough food to go around. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our board of directors. If you are on our board and here, I'm going to ask you to stand, because if I start calling you out, I'll miss them, and that's not good when you mess up on your boss. And what am I trying to say? Clap for our board, because they rock. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Some of them even clap for themselves. I love it even more. And then I'd like to introduce some of our elected officials here today. Mayor Debbie with the city of Hutto. I'm sorry, I'm discombobulated. Debbie Holland, and I'm going to say that I couldn't read my own handwriting when I wrote it down. And then Councilmember Paul Pierce. Thank you guys for coming out today. It's such a high-paying volunteer position that we appreciate you very much. Absolutely, triple the salary. It won't even impact the city budget. All right, and then also would like to invite our ambassadors to stand. They help us with various functions around the chamber, so would like our ambassadors to stand. And I also missed Ann. Sure enough, right there. All right, we're going to come back around to elected officials. So much for my handy-dandy elected official sign-in sheet. All right, back to ambassadors. I'd like our ambassadors to stand, and we'll re-clap for you because I was distracted. Thank you for all of your help. And then we also have some incognito board members. That's my cover for forgetting. Ann and Michael, if you could stand, because we want to clap for you too. I'm just a little bit clap happy today. Forgive me. We have some new members here today. I'd like to invite you if this is your first time at a Hutto Chamber event since having paid your dues, come up here. We'd like to give you a chance to introduce yourself as everybody rushes to the front. So we'll start here with Prosperity Bank, because I know we have at least one. And as he comes, is he the only new member? No, we have a couple of guests too. All right. So, or if you're about to pay your dues, how about that? Come up and tell us about yourself. All right, Rob. Tell us who you are and what you do.
All right. My name's Rob Randig. I'm with Prosperity Bank over at the Dell Diamond on Highway 79. I am a native of Hutto, class of 1990. My kids are going to be class of 19 and class of 21. Oh, wow. My parents are class of 58 and 60, so our roots are from here. Glad to be here, and I've been working in Austin and a couple of other areas, but back to my roots now, and hopefully we can meet you and do some good. Thank you very much.
Welcome home, Rob. Thank you.
I'm Chrissy Weeks with Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union. I'm actually new to the Hutto area. I moved here in December for the job. I love it so far. So I know Randolph Brooks has been a member of the chamber for a while. So we're up here in Pflugerville at Stonehill. You should come see us.
Great. Welcome. And you'll love it forever, I promise.
I don't plan on going anywhere.
All right. And our about-to-be newest member.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramsey. I own Even Air Heating and Air Conditioning. That's my wife, Stephanie. We've been in the Hutto, Pflugerville area for about 15 years, and we've just decided it's time to get into the limelight and hook up with you guys.
All right. Thanks for coming out today. All right, whip out your calendar, because there's some amazing events coming up that you're not going to want to miss. The first thing I'll remind you about is the Chamber Gala that's coming up in just over 10 days. Cannot believe that. February 28th, Saturday, we'll be down at the Heritage Center at Dell Diamond. We have a couple of tables left, so if you have not yet made your reservation, you're going to want to do that quickly. And then February 3rd, Tuesday morning, we have the Mayor's Breakfast at the Rio Grande. And then starting next month at the next month's luncheon. Currently, our luncheon is on the third Thursday of the month. Starting in March, we're actually moving back to the second Wednesday. So for those of you that just set a reminder in your calendar every month for in perpetuity, you need to change that to the second Wednesday starting next month. And we're actually moving from Life Point here over to UCheck. We'll be at on the third floor of the College Center at 11:30 starting next month. On that note, I'd actually like to thank our hosts. Life Point has been hosting the Chamber Luncheon as far back as I could find. I kept checking newsletters going back further and further and further, and probably not since inception, but they have been hosting us for many years. They've been a very gracious host. So I'd actually like to ask Selena, the administrator here, to come up, and I want to express my heartfelt appreciation. You guys have been amazing to work with, and we may have to come back at some point if the college calendar doesn't work. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for your hospitality. We've loved it. Thank you. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our sponsor, Our Bank, Hollis Bone with Our Bank. Great organization, just down. They have a ballpark in their parking lot. I was teasing him about whether he was in Dell Diamond's parking lot or Dell Diamond was in his parking lot, and I think we decided that Dell Diamond's in your parking lot. Okay. Please welcome our sponsor, Hollis Bone.
Thanks, John. All right, for the next 30 minutes, I'd like to talk to you all about banking and all that neat, fun stuff. My name's Hollis. I'm the bank president out here for the new Our Bank out there by the Dell Diamond. We are a 5-year-old bank with roots in Williamson County, founded in the Round Rock area, and really excited about moving out east and getting an opportunity to work with the eastern side of Williamson County, and really excited about coming into Hutto and being able to do some business with y'all. I've lived in Williamson County for 20 years and love being in this area. I'm a native Houstonian, and there's nothing like seeing Houston in your rearview window, and especially when you're heading to Central Texas. I think y'all will agree with me on that. I get asked all the time, what does the R stand for? And it stands for a lot of things, but I think the best way of saying why we have named it Our Bank is if you just say, come on and see us at Our Bank. Okay, that went kind of well, but that's who we are. We're a community bank, and we've got roots here, locally owned, really excited about being here. I'd like to point out a few folks that we have here. Our CEO, Steve Stapp, is back here, acting very inconspicuous, and Shawnee Stapp heads up our mortgage group, and she's right there, and Amber Franks is one of our personal bankers. Did Kelly not make it out here today? Okay. Anyway, we're excited to be here. It's a great thing about chamber work is as soon as you raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to be involved with the chamber, you become a gold member, a board member, and all these things happen really fast. So we are fast. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Rick Arnold. Anyway. Thank you so much. We are so happy to be here. We put some stuff out on the table, some literature and some koozies and pens, because everyone needs literature, koozies, and pens. If you have any questions, we are happy to visit with y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hollis. Well, you may have noticed I'm not our normal MC. Amy Ellsworth, our chairman, is off in the Dominican Republic on a community impact project down there. I was teasing her about, well, when you impact your community, you really just pick one and go. So, but she did promise to bring every chamber member back a souvenir. So when you see her ask, she might not know what you're talking about, but I'm sure she'll flow with it. Well, it's my honor to introduce our program today. I had the pleasure of taking Dale Carnegie's Human Relations course right in the middle of my formal post-secondary education. And after 4 years of college, I realized that I probably learned more from the Dale Carnegie class than I did in 4 years of statistics and English. And that might be more about my attention span than anything else. But Dale Carnegie is an amazing training program, and I'm honored to have the director of training for Dale Carnegie Austin, Diana Lowe. She works with organizations of all sizes, including Whole Foods, National Instruments, and iFly. I just pulled that off of the list because I think it'd be cool to go and do the indoor parachuting. But she works with them on strategic development and helping to engage their employees. Please welcome Diana.
Hello. What an amazing introduction. Thank you so much. It was Tuesday afternoon, and I was sitting across from the director of HR in a very well-known brand of hospitality, food here in Austin, or further in Austin. And she looked at me and she said, "We are growing so quickly. I don't know how we are going to keep up attracting the right people for the right job because we can't compete compensation-wise. And we can't compete with what the bigger brands offer. And now we're going out of state. How are we going to do this?" So as we started talking, the 1-hour meeting that I had planned in my day planner went to 2.5 hours because this was an important issue to her. So as she was telling me all of the things that real businesses face, small businesses growing fast, we know this pain. We've seen this pain, and we've been working with small businesses. So we came up with a plan for them that worked to help them attract the right people. So today, we're going to talk about how small businesses can win big. Hold on. Small businesses can win big with attracting the right people and keeping the right people. So let's go to the first and important question. How do we keep that top talent? How do we get them in and make sure that they're just not going to go after a year? That's one of the hardest questions a lot of businesses are facing. There's 2 parts to this. So the first part is they have to know what they're doing, right? So we make sure that we hire the right people who have the knowledge. Hopefully they'll have some experience, which will lead to the skills element of it. But it's not just about knowing it and being able to do something a little bit. There's a third part to it. The third part is actually their attitude. So once they actually know something and they feel confident that they can execute it, what does their attitude look like? Are they excited about doing this? Or do they just come in and it's just ho-hum every day? So if their attitude isn't engaging, if it isn't passionate, if it isn't enthusiastic, then we can't have engagement. And really, when we have all 3 of those aligning, that's where we see engagement. Dale Carnegie actually defines engagement as winning the hearts and minds of your people. So not just that they know how to do their job, but they know that what they're doing matters. And that's what full engagement is. So let's talk about this. We actually did a study. And in our study, what we found, we can go to the next one. Yeah, there you go. What we found is that large corporations were very different than small corporations. In a large corporation, there were 3 drivers that really were important to engagement. The first driver of this was actually how the relationship was with their immediate manager. Did you ever hear people don't quit their jobs, they quit their manager? They quit their boss? Yeah? Have some nods like, oh yeah, I've been there, right? So if their relationship with their manager isn't good in a big company, chances are they'll go. And in fact, our study found they'll go for a 5% increase. A couple more bucks a day. Actually, it's cents a day. So think about that. So that was the first pillar. The second one was belief in senior leadership. If people didn't feel like what their senior leadership was saying wasn't real, it wasn't transparent, it wasn't true, how are they going to follow them? We're supposed to be following you, behind you, be your troops. You're taking us into the wilderness. If I don't know if you're telling me the truth, I don't want to go there. I don't put myself through that, right? especially the rocky times, because as we would love the economy to be so smooth and always increasing, it's not always that way. So the third pillar of large business employee engagement actually had to do with pride in organization. So not am I just proud to be in this organization, but how does this organization treat people when they're sick? How does this organization treat its environment? Are they responsible? Are they making initiatives to make the place around them, the community around them, better? And if those three aren't in alignment, we don't have engagement. But when they are, total engagement. Now, that's the large companies, right? That's the big corporations. And we define big as over 1,000. Now, with the ones that are under 1,000, let's look at what that is. So with the smaller businesses, and maybe it could be anywhere from a micro business to 3 people to 1,000. There were really important points. This is called the me factor. Do I have the influence in my job to do my job? Do I have impact in the company? Does what I say actually matter? Or are you just letting me talk and nothing's happening? So this isn't actually a lot of, when I was going through this and really studying this, I was thinking, a lot of the times we correlate that with the millennials and say, oh, it's all about them. It's all about me, right? This had nothing to do with generational. This is in small businesses. What keeps people engaged? Do they matter, right? So let's look at this. Actually, before we go on to this, there were 3 very important essence of employee engagement. The first one is that 45% in large companies, 45% of the population are partially engaged. That means they show up, they get the paycheck, if you ask them to do something, they're like, okay, well, maybe later. Maybe they don't do it. Maybe we know some people, don't point or say names, but. So these are the partially engaged. The disengaged, actually, let's say the engaged first. 29% full engagement. Which leaves math people, bank people, 26% fully disengaged. And that's actively disengaged, in fact. So if you think about this, if we were on a boat of 10 people, you have the front 3, they're rowing, they're like, oh, yeah, let's go forward. Yeah, the next 5, they're just hanging out, watching things pass. They're not really helping. They're just dead weight almost. And then you have the 3 in the back, actually the 2 in the back, and they're actively making holes. They're drilling, they're like, oh, let's see how fast they'll go now, right? So in large companies, engagement matters, but in smaller companies, it matters even more, and this is the coolest finding that we found. And if we'll go up here, 36%. You kind of want to say, wow, don't you? Wow, that's amazing, fully engaged. That means that people are showing up and they're rowing. They're actually doing the work. They're actually involved with it. The good news is 45%, they're still partially engaged. And you know what? They're there. They're functional. They just don't go the extra mile. And it's that extra mile that makes a difference in productivity, isn't it? And the best news of all is that the smallest percentage is disengaged. Now, again, there may be somebody, maybe they're ill fit for the job, maybe they don't feel equipped, maybe they don't have the skills to carry out the job and be fully engaged. But it's so much smaller than large corporations. That's where we can really capitalize and win big on recruiting talent. Because we have a fully engaged staff. Now imagine this. Imagine a fully engaged staff. You're hiring somebody, they're walking in on their first day and they see people happy and excited to be there and they're enthusiastic. You think that person wants to stay? Well, what's happening here? I kind of want to know about this, right? So let's look at the next Let's look at the next slide. This is the actual scale of engagement, going from fully disengaged to engaged. But if we can just black that slide out for a moment. Recently, we heard of one of the most amazing stories of how a CEO got a disengaged person to fully engaged. It was a gentleman who took one of our downtown programs, and he owned a family business. His wife and his son were in the business, and they had a small staff. And there was a woman who showed up 100, let me say that again to this side, 100 days late in a row. Like for over 3 months, she was late every morning. Now, this was a person who was important to the actual company, so he didn't know what to do. What do most people want to do? Yeah, fire her, maybe give her a warning, put her on an improvement plan, maybe say something like, come on, what's going on, right? Maybe be a little sarcastic even and say, oh, I see you're late again. That doesn't build people up. So what he did something different because he didn't know what to do. So he sat down with her. She came in his office, and even though he wanted to say the first thing out of his mouth was like, you're late, you're always late, it's driving me nuts. He said to her, hey, thank you so much for coming here today. And he put praise on her. And he told her all the things she was doing well. And he told her all the things he appreciated about her and what difference she actually made to the organization. And the next most important question he said was, how can I be a better boss to you? What can I do to make your job easier? How can I be there more for you? And she told him everything, and she was like, you're so great. And they talked it through. Then he asked her the third question. What are you doing well? And the fourth, where do you want to improve? Since that meeting, very short meeting, less than a half hour, she's never been late again. Because she realized the importance of her role. She realized how valued she was. Maybe he said it before, and hey, good job. Hey, thanks, nice to see you. But maybe she never heard it. She heard it, but she didn't hear it. So after that day, he didn't have to fire her. How great is that? He kept somebody valuable. Because when we just throw people away, it's hard to recruit the next one, and it's expensive. And maybe we can't find the right person. So he saved that relationship. And he made it blossom. And you know what? The best part? He helped her believe in herself. And that's what employee engagement is really about. So if we look on this scale now, we'll see disengaged isn't even on this scale. And they say, don't try to take somebody who's fully disengaged, making holes in the back of the boat. Don't try to actually make them excited and say, hey, let's put you to fully engaged. Your best bet is to work on you might want to get them off the boat, but partially engaged, yeah. So work with the partially engaged. They will probably have more influence on the people who are actively engaged, right? Actively disengaged. So you want to get the people who are partially engaged. And how we do that is we value them. There's actually 3 parts to this because there's an emotional element that they said in our study. That in a small company, 70% of people said that they want to feel like they are trusted to do their job. They want to know, you put me here and you trust me to make these decisions. You trust me to be that person. They also said they want to know you believe in me. And it's not just that there's a passive belief, because in our study we found out if we are not actively enthusiastic, if we are not actively giving praise, then we come off as apathetic, which is a number 1 quality that managers hold when people are disengaged. Can you imagine that? You may not even think of yourself as apathetic. So I didn't tell them good job. I'm apathetic? No, you're not. but perceived as apathetic. So we don't want to be those people. We want to be the people who are saying, you mean something to us. We want you here. Your role is important. So to have that trust and that belief, and also in small companies, people wanted to see that they had a life balance. That work wasn't just about work and just doing that and driving to the goals, but there was actually balance there for them. And that their boss cared about that. The autonomy was at the top of the list as well. They want to know, hey, don't micromanage me, trust me to do this, and let me get on with it. So that's the emotional element. There's actually a functional element to this as well. Is that functionally, they wanted to know, hey, if I have a problem, I need to know you're here to support me, that I have the resources, that I have your back, and that if I make a decision and it's the wrong decision, that you're actually going to support me and give me the resources I need. Resources might be time, money, just support, maybe just an ear to listen to, maybe somebody to help strategize, right? So when they're able to do that, and when they're able to feel trusted and know that there's open communication, which was another element, they know that they're in the right place, and that's full engagement. So as we work through this, and we tell our people, you mean something to us, and we show them, not just in, yay, you're doing great, but informally and formally, and going out of our way to give that appreciation, what we find is that they, as we can see on the chart, they start saying, hey, I have stock in this business. There's a reason I'm here. My work matters. And some of us might even feel like that about our role, that when we show up and we're fully engaged, my work matters, and the people around me matter. So just going to the next slide, there are 5 really simple things we can do. So the first one is empower. And we empower by just letting them do their job. We empower them by giving them decision over their unit, their department, saying, hey, you can make this decision. I'm okay. If it goes either way, I'm here to support you. The second one we do is encourage. So encourage is not only with praise, but encourage is also with giving them the opportunities that are varied from their normal roles. Does that make sense? So giving them those opportunities. Maybe they do this one job, but you have a feeling they would be great in another. So allowing them to have those opportunities and trying new things, expanding roles. The third is inspiration. We inspire through authentic communication. Earlier, Marcus and I were talking about, and actually Karen as well, we were talking about being authentic. What that means, it's thrown around a lot. We said that's a word that's thrown around a lot. But truly, not only just being honest, because honesty has a sliding scale, right? But by actually saying, you know what? I say this, I do this. They match up. And when they can't match up, because sometimes it's not possible, I explain why it doesn't match up. We actually include the group on decisions. Because Dale Carnegie actually says, people buy into a world they help create. So when we give them that ability to make those decisions, they want to buy in. And think about ourselves. If we reflect on our best times and our most engaged roles, weren't we able to make those decisions? Weren't we able to contribute to results and have impact? A little bit? Yeah, there's some head nodding over here. Not so much this side. This side, maybe stuck to this side, see how this works. So we feel more engaged when we're able to make decisions, when we feel empowered. So fourth is building confidence. We build confidence through being open, through knowing the names of the people. I was talking to Hollis earlier, and he said, yeah, I know the names of all 60 people in our business. And that's amazing, because you know what? A lot of the times we work with people on teams, I see it every day. They might just have 5 people, and they're like, I don't know their name, so I'm going to avoid them. It hurts. Yeah, you can see it. It just hurts. Or even worse, when they call you by the wrong name. They've been doing it for years. You're like, I don't know when to tell you that's not actually my name. So it creates that distrust, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to build confidence. We want to tell people not only that they're doing well, why they're doing well, recognize it, and be able to empower them to do that. And last but not least, certainly, is communicate. This communicate is actually about communicating our business's vision. You know what? If we're having a hard year, maybe that's something we need to communicate. In fact, for this point, there's a story that's illustrated. There was a business in the Midwest in 2008, and it was in a very small town. Many people worked there. It was 300 people who worked there. And the owner knew that if this business went under, it would have devastating effects on everyone in the town, and even ripple effects. So he said, we need to lay people off, but we can't. So what did he do? An ingenious idea. He said, everyone has to take 1 month of no pay. 4 weeks of no pay, and he said, I'll take the year of no pay. Could you imagine a CEO saying, I will take the year so that my team is able to provide for their family? That's really powerful, isn't it? So you know what happened? The coolest thing ever. Some people said, you know what? I could probably go 2 or 3 months without any pay. And they gave those weeks and those months to people who needed it more. So during that tough time, during 2008, when people were struggling, they were getting stronger as a business because there was open communication that something bad is happening and we need to pull together and do this. Talk about inspiration, right? How loyal do you think those people are to that business? Pretty loyal, right? So when we're able to communicate the great as well as the tough things, as well as the things we don't want to say, with tact and diplomacy and keeping people in mind and their situations, we're able to create that engagement. So today, one of the things that Deandra and I, who's my colleague back there, yay, we thought, it's not enough to just come and listen and talk about it. We got to take action, right? So in the middle of the tables, there are actually some surveys, and we're giving away a free engagement workshop for your team of up to 15 people. So if you feel like that would be of value to you, and that's something you really want to take part of, please feel free to fill out the survey. Also, there's more. We also have a How to Win Friends and Influence book that we're giving away today. And it's not just how to win friends and influence people. It's actually how to stop worrying and start living as well. So it's 2 books in one. It's like that. Pretty cool. So also, again, if you're interested in this for the draw, please fill out the survey in the middle. We'll collect them.
If I could just say, if we don't have those forms by chance today, contact us, get us on the way out, give us your business card. We will contact you and offer that to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know where the rest of our surveys went, but you will not be forgotten, I promise.
Maybe they were disengaged. Maybe they were the active ones that left. I don't know. So, and we'll collect that as well afterwards. Principal, thanks. There you go. So that's where they went. They went to that table. There you go. So, yeah. I think we got some back there. So before we do the drawing and everything, there is one we have 30 principles that we work to of how to get the best out of people and how to deal with people in good times and bad. And our principle 21 is throw down a challenge. There was actually a gentleman who owned a small business, and it was a cleaning business. And in this cleaning business, he thought, well, they're just cleaners. They're never going to be excited about their job. And they were disengaged, and it was hard for him to find people. And he wasn't very positive about his team because they were just kind of halving it, right? So there was one woman who was crucial to his business. And he said, I need her to be better in some way. So we worked with her. And what happened was she changed. She became more engaged. She became more enthusiastic. So when she came to work, he was like, what are you doing? Why are you so happy? Why are you so enthusiastic? So what he did is he said, I think I need to do this. So when he changed himself, he had the biggest realization of all. He realized the reason why his people were disengaged was because of him, was because of his attitude, was because of how he talked to them, how he treated them. And he changed that around. And he's made people have applications now for his business because they want to work for him. So today I challenge everyone here to think about, how can we be more engaged? How can we be more enthusiastic? Show it. Go out. Be that person in our business who creates that engagement. What do we need to do? Because I guarantee you, when you're intentional with your enthusiasm, your energy, your appreciation, everything around you changes. So thank you so much for your time.
Great.
Today.
Thank you, Diana. One of the things I love about Dale Carnegie Training is they always have great stories where the principles they talk about are real and actually work. So thank you. I enjoyed that very much. So the only thing we have left today are some door prizes. I encourage you to keep handing your forms in, and they'll actually draw for the training from amongst those surveys. So the first thing we'll give away is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I have, actually both of those books are in my library. So we'll ask Councilmember Prince to draw. And the winner is Angela DeCillo of Wells Fargo. All right. So the next thing we're giving away from our sponsor is 2 mugs and a pound of the Veranda Blend from Starbucks. We'll try at this table, and we'll see if somebody at this table wins something is up. So, and the winner is Jackie with G&S. G&S Mechanical. I didn't know what that was. All right, I'll throw that down there for you. All right. And then we have from the Round Rock Express 4 tickets to a game of your choice. Wait a minute, 2 people at this table won. Here, let's try this right here. Oh, yeah. Well, you could. It wouldn't bother me. And it goes to Kathy Bradner with Temple College. All right. And then the last door prize is actually one that's kind of special to me, and we'll see if it becomes special, is we have a 2015 Gala minted coin. This year for the Gala, we minted up some coins for our VIPs. It's a fundraiser. So VIP means very important patron. But we're going to give away the first one here today, and I'll just go ahead and draw this to avoid any semblance of... And the winner goes to Sherry Pritchard with P&B Print. Sherry. Thanks for coming out. Well, that's our program for today. Next month again, we're on the second Wednesday at 11:30 over at the UCHEC. Campos is coming to talk about the regional planning efforts. So have a great Wednesday. See you next month.